Let's pull out the Marauders map and head to the Room of Requirements for Community Day on Professorvoqas. And this is Harry Potter, Wizards Unite.
Hello, Professor. I didn't see you there.
Community Day is February 20th. That's this Saturday. It'll go from midnight, like Friday moving into Saturday, all the way till midnight Saturday, so a full 24 hours. And it will revolve around one singular page in the registry that we will go visit in a second, the Room of Requirement 3. But I did want to first talk about that tonic for trace detection on Community Day, this Community Day. Should produce more traces that are boosted, and we'll talk about those boosted traces in a moment. Also, it normally has a 1 hour brew time, but on Community Day, Master Notes will reduce the brew time by 50%, so the base brew time essentially be 30 minutes after Master Notes, and then you actually add in any of your bonuses from the SOS tree, and that'll come into effect too. But at the very minimum, it should only take you 30 minutes after you put the Master Notes in. Moving on to the registry itself, Room of Requirements, one of those weird things in the registry that are actually in multiple places. This one happens to be under Mysterious Artifacts. That's the keyhole and the pink symbol. You can see mine on my screen has a little 3 next to it because I've actually saved some images. But actually, Room of Requirement 2 is actually up top, but it's not that page. It's Room of Requirement 3, which is a couple down here. You can see on this page here, the 4 green starred foundables that I have, which is the Marauders map, Hermione's Time Turner, the Omnoculars, and Mad-Eye Moody's Eye. Those 4 are normally found in the wild with varying levels of difficulty, and those 4 foundables during this event should be boosted, so you should find more of them, and there's some tasks revolving returning them, which we'll get into in just a bit. In addition, the tonic for trace detection should produce more of those 4 in particular. Now, the other 2 foundables on this page, and I don't want to click on them because the images are ready to place, essentially getting ready for this event, is the Cursed Necklace, that's 14 out of 14, the Cursed Opal Necklace, and Sirius's Flying Motorcycle, which Hagrid always rides. That is also 14 out of 14. Both of those are normally Fortress foundables. So during this event, things will sort of change for them. The Cursed Opal Necklace will actually be available from 1 kilometer port keys. So during this day, at least, you can pick up those port keys. If you walk them on a later day, it's fine. Once you open it, you will get a fragment of the Cursed Opal Necklace. So this day is a good day to just either walk them and or load up on them for finishing them after the event's over. Now, Sirius's Flying Motorcycle will still be a Fortress foundable, and it will actually be the only Fortress foundable available from the Mysterious Artifacts family, so everything on all the pages, like the Sword of Gryffindor there. So anyway, going back down to Room Requirement 3. The way that's going to work is if you use a Mysterious Artifact runestone while you're in a fortress, normally your chance to get a family fragment, to get a fragment back from something in Mysterious Artifacts, is 50% in Ruins 1, all the way up to 100% in Dark 5. Now, if you do get a fragment, you have a 100% chance that it will be the Flying Motorcycle. It doesn't mean you'll get one every time, because if you're in a lower chamber, you may just get the chamber fragment, something from the challenge registry. So let me come over here. Some of these things, the books, some of the joke products, those types of things that you normally get you're always getting something like that. And then from the actual registry itself, for whatever runestone you use, that's when you might get one of these fragments. So for this event, if you get one of those fragments, it will only be Sirius's Flying Motorcycle. That's the only thing. You'll never get any of the other things. So on this day, if you're trying to prestige another page, you have no way to get the Sword of Gryffindor on this page, because any fortress you run will only get you the motorcycle. That was a bit long-winded, but hopefully that really articulates how that works for tomorrow. So the motorcycle, I would even hone in on more, because tomorrow's the only day you can specifically just get that over and over and over. Whereas the Cursed Opal Necklace, you could actually get the port keys and then walk them later. So those are the 6 foundables that this whole day revolves around. The 4 that'll appear more in the wild, the Cursed Opal Necklace from port keys, and then the Flying Motorcycle from fortresses. As long as you get a family drop, you're going to get it. Moving on to the tasks themselves, the first task has you using Master Notes 4 times, which will get you a silver key. Keep in mind, using master notes is not brewing potions. You will be brewing potions while you do this. Simply having a potion finish and collecting it doesn't get you this. It's at the beginning when you first put it in, being able to put those master notes in. So you're probably going to want to have your potions clear at this point so that you can start to put potions in and get master notes going for those. Once again, don't forget, master notes for the tonic for trace detection will make it only take 30 minutes to brew. So if you do have the ingredients for that, go ahead and brew those, just because you'll be able to get through 4 master notes in one day a little easier without it having to be taken over so much of the day. In addition, I didn't mention this, there are bundles available in the store. Nothing of consequence, but the free bundle does have the ingredients for 1 tonic for trace detection and then some spell energy. So be sure to pick that up so at least you can do your first master notes on a tonic for trace detection and get it done in 30 minutes and then move on to, like for me, it'll probably be extimulos or maybe healing potions. I think I have the ingredients for both of those. Next up is to return 15 omnoculars, which will be a boosted spawn rate, so it shouldn't be too hard to find, we hope, and you don't see them a lot. I don't see them a lot outside of events, so I'm sure if you missed the last event when they're available, this will be a great event for you to get that image down either once or multiple times. That will get you 6 Snowdrop, which are used in Extimulo potions. Return 8 Hermione's Time Turner will get you 2 strong Extimulo potions. Again, this is another one of the boosted spawns, so definitely go for that. Keep in mind, if you use a trace charm on any of these, they will get you more fragments, but it doesn't necessarily get you too many more of these. Granted, usually when you trace charm something, like if you trace charm the Hermione's Time Turner, it'll produce a clone of itself, so you're getting a second one to place. Those extra fragments don't get you closer to this task because it's asking you to replace the actual, to return the actual foundable as opposed to how many fragments you get. So putting a trace charm down, at the very least, you would hopefully get a clone, and then you get 2 Hermione's Time Turners for using that. One thing I will note is if you have a tonic for trace detection going and something appears from the tonic for trace detection, if you trace charm that, it doesn't produce a clone of itself. So you're not going to get any more of it unless it just happens to produce another one of itself. But usually after you return the base thing you put the trace on, a clone pops up in its spot, so you get another one of it. For tonic for trace detection, it does not happen. So just be aware when you're going to throw the trace charm in, look for that pink swirl around it, and if it's there, maybe don't trace charm that one and try to find a wild one. Next up is to defeat 20 foes in wizarding challenges. It gets you 2 healing potions. Again, I would go ahead and use the mysterious artifact runestones to get Sirius's flying bike, and just, you're going to have to defeat 20 foes anyway, and you're in there. Now, if you don't need the flying bike, obviously use whatever. Me, of course, I'm going to be prestiging this page almost immediately when the event starts, and then wanting to get a lot more of both the necklace as well as the flying motorcycle. Which brings us to the next task, which is a little odd. It says collect 7 Sirius's flying motorcycle, and it gets you 2 potent extimulos. Now, I guess it's odd because when we go into the fortress, we get a fragment of Sirius's flying motorcycle, and this doesn't say the word fragment in it, but I'm assuming that's what it means. We have to get 7 fragments, so we're going to have to run fortresses. I mean, at the very minimum, you would have to run it 7 times with the runestone and get the motorcycle each time. Other than that, you might have to run it more. I'm sure I'm not going to run Dark 5 7 times necessarily. It just takes too long, too much energy. I'll probably do lower chambers and just run them a lot more, knowing I won't get it all the time. So once you get 7 of, I'm guessing, the fragments itself, that's when you get it, because you can't really return, I guess, the whole thing. Neither, I guess, in the wild ones do you ever really return the whole foundable. You just get a fragment from it. So in this case, this is a different one because usually it's the wild ones we're collecting a number of. This is actually the fortress foundable for the day. So just make sure you run fortresses. You have to get those foes anyway, the 20 foes and the task above. So go ahead and run those and use the mysterious artifact runestones. Get a bunch of the Sirius flying motorcycle until you get 7 of them, and then you complete this. The last thing you need to do is place 2 mysterious artifact images, any of them. So it doesn't have to be from this page. Like I showed you had the Sword of Gryffindor before. I can actually place that image, and that would count too because it's in the mysterious artifact family. You could also place the omnoculars or just anything from this page that you end up getting. It gets you 4 unicorn hair. Unicorn hair is specifically used in potent extimulos, and that's the only potion it's used for. So you get 4 of them, which is nice. And this particular task is one of the reasons I've been saving images. I saved the Sirius's flying motorcycle, I saved the cursed opal necklace, and I saved the Sword of Gryffindor after having run a bunch of fortresses prior to Community Day to kind of be ready on that page. I didn't place them just in case there was either a family experience requirement or something like this where it wanted me to place images. So as soon as the event starts, I'll be able to place all 3 of those images really, and get credit for this and just move on from there. If you manage to complete all these tasks somewhere within those 24 hours, you're going to get 3 Defense Against Dark Arts books, 3 spell books, which helps with that combat adversary tree, which I just upgraded yesterday. So I'm now working my way toward my last upgrade on the feared adversary aspect of upgrading things and then moving on to the lethals. But that's what those books are for. And then you'll get some gold, some wizarding experience, and energy, of course. So this is a pretty straightforward community day. I don't think they threw too many curveballs at us with the tasks, except for the Sirius's flying bike. People might be, if they don't know, they might be looking for them in the wild, I guess. You're waiting for them to spawn. Just know that the flying motorcycle, you do need to go into fortresses with mysterious artifact runestones to get that. And then when you see those porkies on the ground, they're the blue ones. They'll look different than a normal porky. Those are all those 1 kilometer cursed opal necklace. And don't forget, if you open them after the event's over, you're still getting that cursed opal necklace. So if you need that, I would load up on them and just walk them over the next couple days before we get to the next brilliant event, the part 2 of the Imperfect Love. Also be sure to maybe clear out your potions so that you have space to go ahead and brew potions so you can enter the master notes. Because if you already have potions brewing, you're going to either have to pay to quicken them up or wait until they finish so you can start a new potion and enter master notes into that. So we can do that 4 times. I hope this guide helps you prepare and then get through Community Day and get everything you want out of that day. And as always, thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Nox.